Madam President.
Senator from Wyoming.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I come to the floor today following the U.S. airstrike in Iraq, the airstrike that killed Iranian's terrorist mastermind. I fully support President Trump's decision. As Commander-in-Chief, I believe he had an obligation to do what he did, to act when American lives are at stake. With the death of Iran's General Soleimani, the American people and people around the world are much safer. This general was an emboldened, bloodthirsty terrorist. He was a killer. He has the blood of countless people around the world on his hands. In the last 2 months, we've seen 11 attacks on U.S. forces and bases, including the killing of an American citizen. He became bolder. He became more aggressive in both his actions and his ambitions. And he was stepping up his attacks on Americans. In fact, General Soleimani was at war with the United States his entire career. And it was a military career. He was the commander of Iran's terrorist network. We watched in recent months as he personally directed brazen attacks on our embassy and our personnel in Iraq. We knew that more attacks were coming, and so the United States took action. Soleimani's death makes America safer in the long run. Taking out this war criminal will help us avoid war in the future. Let me be clear. I don't want war with Iran. The United States does not want war with Iran. We know that appeasement does not work. The Obama administration's strategy of wishful thinking failed. Soleimani's terrorist network was made more powerful by U.S. money. The Obama administration gave billions and billions of dollars in U.S. dollars as part of that Iran nuclear deal. What do they do with the money? They use the money to support terrorists around the world. Without a doubt, appeasement only brought failure. It made Iran stronger, and it hurt the United States and our allies. Madam President, we know that the winning strategy is peace through strength. We knew it through Ronald Reagan, and we know it today. Already, U.S. sanctions on Iran have been crushing and crippling. We must continue President Trump's maximum pressure campaign. Now Iran knows that the United States means what it says. We are prepared for retaliations should they come. This past weekend, Joe Biden actually said, Iran is in the driver's seat. Madam President, Iran is not in the driver's seat. Iran is in the center of the bullseye. U.S. forces will respond. We'll respond to any future attacks on Americans or American safety, and we will do it swiftly and with a punishing response. Now, it would be a grave mistake for Iran to further escalate tensions. Instead, what Iran ought to do is dial down its aggressive nature and posture. The facts are these. General Soleimani was a bloodthirsty terrorist. He had the blood of innocent civilians on his hands, and he would have killed many more if given the chance. This general spent his entire career at war with the United States. He was responsible for the deaths of American soldiers, hundreds of deaths with IEDs, and for the maiming of American soldiers with roadside bombs. And that would be thousands of Americans who have been permanently disabled because of him. Thankfully, the general's 20-year reign of terror is now ended, and there is broad condemnation all around the world over the mass destruction and the death that he caused. It's time now, Madam President, for Iran to take a step back, away from nuclear weapons, away from terrorism, away from aggressions. Come to the table. It's time for them to discuss peace. Thank you, Madam President, and I yield the floor.